Take a look at the price of Bitcoin now at record levels, topped 111,000 for a brief moment. Right now, the cryptocurrency trading about 110,716. Joining us right now, Anthony Scaramucci, founder and managing partner of Skybridge Capital. Explain the move, Anthony, because we've now diverged again from all sorts of things. It seems to go along with something, and then it seems to not go along with things.
So if I could really explain the move, Andrew, I would stop working. So I can't explain the move. What I can say, though, is a bipartisan commitment to stablecoin legislation, the Genius Act, and of course you have the Stable Act coming up. I know Joe Kernan's got to love the fact that these two acts are called Stable Genius. Am I right? So
yeah,
you've got
exactly.
the two, right? So you've got the
main coin is Covfefe, isn't it?
Yeah. So you've got Joe. I know you love stable and genius when those words are put together. These are two.
The shoe fits.
Listen, it's a bipartisan act, and I think it's putting to bed the idea that we're going to have a partisan issue around regulation of Bitcoin. And by the way, this is really along the David Sachs theory, where we've got to make Bitcoin bipartisan. If we're really going to create a crypto reserve for the United States, and you guys know this, we have states now that have passed crypto reserves. Countries, sovereign wealth funds are buying it. And so this sort of paves the way for a bipartisan commitment to Bitcoin, but it also opens up pathways for foundations, endowments, institutional investors. And so, Andrew, I think this move is Bitcoin. When you're looking at it as a capital allocator, it's sort of the Dow of crypto. And so therefore, people are taking a toehold position. It's thinly volumed in terms of the amount of supply that's out there. And that's what's pushing the price up so aggressively.
In terms of what's going on with the president, and I know you have particular views about the president, but I imagine there's got to be some views that are actually, I mean, you've had a criticism of him, but some positive views. He's having this meeting or dinner with all of the crypto world. What are we supposed to think about that?
And I've had this conversation with Joe. There were some things he was doing in the tariffs I didn't like. He paused the tariffs. I came on the air and praised that. I'm not just going to be anti-Trump. He's done a lot of good things on the crypto piece. He's done some good things for the banks. He set up a course for some deregulation that I think is positive for growth. But alongside of that, unfortunately, you're picking up some of the meme activity, or you're picking up the notion that the president's actually going to be out there measuring people's wallets in his own meme coin to provide him access. And so, listen, it's probably inside the spirit of the law, Andrew, and the letter of the law, if you will, but it doesn't feel right to a lot of people. I just think it slows down. It gums up the works for crypto, and it makes people think of the unseemly side of the blockchain and crypto as opposed to the positive. So I'm not in love with the dinner. I'm sure there are people on the president's team that are not in love with the dinner, probably not going to be as candid as I would be about the dinner. But that's the president. And so what are you going to do? When you're at the Trump buffet, Andrew, you got to eat everything. You got to eat the meme coin alongside the positive stuff that he's doing too. There's no a la carte menu when you're dining with Donald Trump, particularly on these types of things.
Anthony, the pomp was on yesterday. He was back to fiat and, the rush to the bottom and devaluation, everybody, printing. He was saying that that's still going to be, in the end, the 21 million Bitcoin that are available, that's still going to be the overriding impetus for Bitcoin to continue to go higher. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, well, I heard the interview, because obviously, I watch you guys. I also got the shout out on my birthday, Joe. I saw that. You and I. A lot of weird things happen on January 6th, Joe, including you and me. But
you're talking about Eric Trump being born. I know what you're saying.
A lot of weird things. Joe, you'll be impressed with this. I invited Eric to my Wyoming Blockchain Association symposium, which is coincident to the Federal Reserve central banking meetings out there. Eric accepted the invitation. So, listen,
I like Eric.
You gotta try to, live in the middle somewhere. But the point that Pomp was making, I would say a little differently. I think people feel that there's been some drunk driving by the central banking community more broadly, and again, over 50 years. And so what Pomp is trying to say to you guys is that if Bitcoin explodes and becomes an asset as a store of value or potential global currency, if you will. It sort of takes the drunk driving, takes the keys away from the central bankers. And so this spending bill, which is massive, and it doesn't stop the freight train of U.S. spending and the growth of the deficit relative to U.S. GDP. So in the background of everything I said earlier about crypto and the regulation, the spending bill also makes people concerned to say, geez, I may want to own assets away from the U.S. dollar. This is a good competitive asset now.
And then one last thing, and I know I think I don't know if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, but you're focused on Bitcoin. I'm curious where you land on stable coins, because it feels like that is the next sort of place this all moves.
Well, so I'm a big fan of stable coins. I think that you'll lower the cost of transactions globally, and you'll help the unbanked, Andrew, with the advent and the proliferation of stable coins. I also think it helps dollar supremacy, because if you look at these stablecoin companies, whether it's Circle or Tether, or you pick other stablecoin companies that are growing, in their reserves, they own a lot of U.S. dollar-denominated assets, specifically U.S. Treasury. I think Tether, I think it was reported that they own more treasuries than Germany or Japan in terms of the inventory of treasuries on their balance sheet. So to me, the legislation is going to allow us to increase that. I think that's better for the dollar, but I also think at some point, you'll come to the Hunt and Fish Club, you'll pay with a stable coin, and you'll avoid the 3.5% credit card fee. And I think that's sorely overdue. I mean, there's approximately $7 trillion of money that's spent globally on verification of transactions, which includes credit card fees, wiring fees, all these different things that we're using. And if you can cut that down using stable coins, using the blockchain, I think we should be doing that. And I will applaud the administration for wanting to advance that. The last administration, they were making specious arguments about why we shouldn't advance that. And so I do give the administration credit for wanting to make this technology stick here in the United States to enable the United States to maintain its mantle of financial services leadership.
And then finally, Anthony, if you were going to play the stable coin, what's the investment there?
Well, listen, I will fully disclose, I own a piece of Circle. I'm a big fan of Jeremy and his business. I'm a big fan of that management team. We had his colleague Dante at our Bermuda conference 2 weeks ago. These guys do a brilliant job, and they're regulatorily tight. I think Tether will also enter the United States at some point, and I think those are the two formidable ones. But I do believe that Coinbase is also a way to play this, because they have a great relationship with Circle, and they're aggregating a lot of money there. And Coinbase just going into the S&P 500 is great value in our minds. We own a lot of that in our mutual fund CRPT.
All right, so you let them tell you what's going on. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto episode number. You got to do that when you don't know what episode you're on, right? Number 273. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to be here this morning. Welcome to our show. I am your captain, your host, Vincent Owens. Been doing this for a while now, okay? And it is finally starting to pay off, okay? It's definitely finally starting to pay off. But I want to, number one, take the time to say thank you so much to all of our community. Y'all have been absolutely crushing it and killing it inside the Discord group. And if you're inactive in our Discord group and you're not communicating, you're not talking, you're not saying good morning to us, do not be surprised if you get kicked out. I promise you, okay? Do not be surprised if you get kicked out. And you can be anybody. It could even be my mom, okay? But luckily my mom engages, okay? So she all right. She all right in my book. But I'm gonna tell y'all how gut I am. I don't care about kicking nobody out. I will kick my own mom out my group if she was not talking. You understand what I'm saying? So I want y'all to realize how serious I am about this, how serious I am about being around people who actually want to be here, right? Who actually want to be a part, because we don't need fillers. You know what I mean? When you got nice lips, you don't need lip fillers. You know what I mean? We don't need lip fillers over here at Coffee and Crypto. We need people that is actually plugged into the software, the solution, the issue at hand. And if you're not doing that, and I start to notice it, and you get kicked out of the Discord group for a lack of communication, please don't come back and say, Vincent, what happened? Because I'm gonna pull back up episode number 273. And I'm gonna be like, I talked about this in the beginning, dog. So I appreciate y'all so much. All jokes aside, but I'm not joking. I want to say thank you all so much for being the best part of our show, for staying active. And that has nothing to do with coffee and crypto. I'm gonna be real with y'all, right? This is just another resource. Y'all have other shows potentially that you watch. Some people only watch this show. I would encourage you to find other shows, right? Because especially if you're inside of our Discord group, because if you can find other relevant information and you can bring things to the table, like one of the projects we're going to talk about today, this could be an absolute game changer. And this new project that we've been screaming about and talking about inside of our Discord group, y'all, has absolutely went bunkers. So if you're excited for today's episode, just light me up one time. Just light me up one time. And then also, if you're extra excited, just go over to the Discord group or your Telegram groups or your group chats or whatever you got going on and drop this link over there and just let somebody know, hey, you can join our YouTube channel right now, right? It's completely free, okay? And Vincent Owens is about to give some value to the masses. So I really hope that you all enjoy today's show. I hope that you stick around. And as you can see, we just watched, if you missed it, go back and make sure you watch that video. But we watched the video with David Sachs, who's our crypto czar here in America. We watched and he talked about a lot of stuff that's happening. But one of the things that was interesting to me, they talked about stable coins. That's very interesting, but we've been talking about this. But something that is interesting that I think is pretty dope is, and I think it's pretty crazy, y'all, but Donald Trump is hosting a meme coin dinner. Right? So to anybody that owns the Trump coin and a significant amount of Trump coin, he's hosting a meme dinner. Trump is showing you all how it's done to build culture, okay, on the back end and the front end of this software, of these types of ecosystems. See, a lot of people are upset with Trump because maybe they lost a little money, but you got to realize the Trump coin just came out. If you're a meme coin holder, the Trump coin just came out. This is what meme coins do. They explode and then they go down and then they explode if they're worth something. So with a meme coin, to know its value, you have to realize like a Shiba Inu or a Doge coin, right? Let's just talk about or Pepe. These are meme coins that will probably be around for a while, right? Dog with hat, right? There's different ones that are like staples on certain networks, right? Those are probably going to be around a lot longer than the other meme coins that are not staples on those networks. So I want you to realize that Donald Trump's Trump coin is a staple on the Solana network, and it is a staple, right? And it is a staple for America. I'm gonna give you all one more, and we're not here to talk about meme coins, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with you, but I want to give y'all one more, okay? I want to give y'all one more that you can take home with you. You can go do your own research, okay? And this one is also culture. Hey, drop it in the chat box if y'all know what I'm about to say. Hey, this one is also culture, okay? But it's a crazy culture, okay? And I'm gonna just say it can get real. This meme coin can get real freaky, baby. Okay, it might be. Hey, listen, this meme coin might. Hey, you might need a little bit of baby oil for this meme coin if you know where I'm going. All right, but nah, this one right here is called Diddy. Okay, but no Diddy, but Diddy. Okay, the Diddy meme coin. All right, now you probably like, yo, Theo, no Diddy, but why would you invest in Diddy? Well, you got to realize that meme coins is all about culture. And I don't give a doggone who culture. It could have been Epstein meme coin, okay? But it turned out to be Diddy. I need you to realize something. As this case continues to go on for the rest of this year, probably next year, maybe as long as the Ripple case, okay? These cases like this take a very long time to settle, okay? Unless it's just some crazy information to come out. We can ride the wave, okay, of a culturally deranged meme coin. Okay? It's kind of messed up, but none of the proceeds is going to Diddy. So we'll be good. All right. So even if you invest into it, you're not giving Diddy no money. I want to be real now. This is some project, but guess what? If you can get in while the market cap is sitting at a couple $1,000s, it's at a couple $1,000s, y'all. It's not even at $1 million market cap yet. If you can get in at that type of price and you can ride it up, imagine getting into the Trump meme coin at a couple of $1,000s of a market cap. Just think about it real quick. I want y'all to think about how your life would have changed. If you was Donald Trump's friend and he had a sensual message that said, I'm launching my meme coin, buy it now on Solana. You went and bought it and then boom, everything just flew and went crazy. You'd be sitting at this meme coin dinner as well. So I just wanted to let you all know that although we don't talk a lot about meme coins on this show, right? Although we don't talk a lot about them, they are still relevant. And if I see a good play for some money, oh, you know, I got to tell you, baby. Now, listen, with that being said, I do got to throw our disclaimer out there because I did just drop some no Diddy on you, okay? But check this out. Actually, this one's all Diddy. People say no Diddy. It's all Diddy in this one, baby, okay? But check this out. Coffee and Crypto Network is for entertainment purposes only. As you can see, I'm trying to entertain y'all this morning, okay? Make sure that if you hear about any type of investments in this space, whether it be stocks, crypto, or any other asset class, do your own research to ensure, it is crazy, right? To ensure, okay, do your own research to ensure that you are investing into assets that you believe can definitely be the ones of the future. The ones that we share on Coffee and Crypto is just my belief, okay, and my team's belief of what we believe could potentially happen, all right? It may not. Okay, and that's why you don't want to invest more than you can lose. Okay, afford to lose. Okay, I put $50 in on Diddy. I went all in, y'all. I went all in. Okay, I went all in with a big $50 on Diddy, and that 50 is up to like 70 right now. Okay, so it ain't went up that much, but it will. Okay, now that it's 1017. If we can go over to the Discord group real quick and just drop real quick. Everybody go over to the Discord group and drop all Diddy. Somebody drop that in the Discord group. Let these folks know to get on here and just say all Diddy this morning, man. Let them know to pull up because they may need some baby oil for this episode because it's about to get real spooky. Let's get it. I'm just having fun over here, y'all. I'm having fun this morning. All right, don't mind me. Okay, don't mind me. Okay, I'm just having fun over here this morning, y'all. Okay, so with that being said, let's dive into our crypto coin market cap. Okay, which is a free website that anybody can use to be able to research any cryptocurrencies that you want to out there. Okay, I usually tell people if it's not on CoinMarketCap, it's not in my portfolio, right? If it's not on CoinMarketCap, it's not on my portfolio, okay? Do anybody feel where I'm coming from, right? All right, cool. So right now, we are up, 24-hour volume is up 60% right now, y'all. $205 billion traded in crypto in the last 24 hours, y'all. That is crazy, okay? Almost $250 billion traded. We're up to $3.49 trillion as a market cap, and we are on our way to a $4 trillion market. Right now, we are super greedy. Y'all remember a couple weeks ago, we was down here in this red. Now we're maneuvering back into this green. Oh, how volatile our cryptocurrency market can be. Bitcoin sitting at $111,000, family, and it has created all new all-time highs, and we have exceeded the prior all-time high of $109,000. Congratulations to all those Bitcoin holders out there. Do not let go. Do not let go. And even if you don't have it, and somebody in your family, a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, if they own a full Bitcoin, you want to make sure that you let them know to be on these types of calls. You want to make sure that because they hold a portion of the key to the wealth of your family forever. Because when you own a full Bitcoin and you can lend it out and you can do these things, you can really get into DeFi. See, if you got a full Bitcoin, Once regulation comes in, you want to get with someone like me that can help you get into DeFi. He can help you build some yield, who can help you leverage your Bitcoin to maybe go into a real estate project, right? And use it as a token for RWA, right? That's you want to get with us if you got a full Bitcoin or even a half of a Bitcoin, right? But Bitcoin is absolutely smashing. Ethereum has woke back up. Okay, the sleeping giant has woke back up. Congratulations to those Ethereum holders out there. XRP still acting a fool, still doggone not doing a doggone thing. All right, I'm just being real with y'all. XRP ain't doing nothing, but luckily, my portfolio is not predicated on this asset. It is a long-term hold. See, XRP gonna make you put some respect on its name, right? It's gonna make you put some respect on your name. It's gonna make you grow a little hair on your chest. You know, XRP like a good cup of whiskey. You know, you gotta swirl it around and just sip on it. You ain't supposed to just shot it up. You gotta taste it. That's XRP, baby. But what you gotta realize is XRP stands for excellent retirement plan. Just keep buying, just keep holding, and just keep swimming. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive over to our chart real quick. And let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart, which I am in for a buy. And I'm in from a buy right here at the tip, of this wick right here, this red wick. We got in for a buy down here. We've been riding this wave up. And our portfolio is looking good. And I don't plan on selling I don't plan on getting out of this Bitcoin trade. If I can be completely transparent, we caught the break in the retest of $105,000, right? We caught the break in the retest of $105,000. I'm not exiting. I'm letting this thing run up because I'm going to show you in comparison to how this looks, right? Let's go back. This could be a comparison to when we broke this major earth, right, of 2957, broke it, retested it, and started to run all the way up to $3,500 per ounce of gold. Bitcoin, same thing we've seen right here, okay? Same thing we're seeing right here. We got a breakout, okay? We got a retest somewhere. This could have been the better one, 101. But regardless, we got in at 105, but 101 would have been exceptional entry, right? And we've broke this last all-time high. This shows us that we are now in a rally. It could be a fake out. Don't mistake out. It could be a fake out, okay? So just wanted y'all to see what's going on. But then also outside of technicals, okay, the reason why I'm bullish and I'm staying in this trade for Bitcoin is because of the things that I've heard over the last couple of evenings of me putting today's show on. So the first video that we're going to watch comes from Mike Novogratz. And we already know these guys are extremely bullish on Bitcoin. Pay attention and learn you something.
Crypto industry is definitely having a moment right now. There's a listing of your company, Galaxy Digital, Coinbase joining the S&P 500. You also have the debut of eToro, and of course, the price of Bitcoin itself on an upswing today, hitting a record $108,000. Do you think the news around the crypto ecosystem is helping to drive the price of Bitcoin? What's wagging the dog here?
I think, listen, it started with Larry Fink when he got orange pilled and the largest asset manager of the world said, this is a real asset in at least Bitcoin that everyone should be part of. And lots of other companies, Invesco with us, followed suit, right? And so that was kind of round one of institutions coming in. But really it was the change of the shift of approach from the Gary Gensler SEC to this Trump administration, which has just embraced our industry. And that freed up the animal spirits, both here and abroad, right? I've had conversations with heads of large sovereign wealth funds that said, if America's buying Bitcoin, we're buying Bitcoin. And so you're seeing like the snowball is rolling downhill. The one thing that could have held it back some, at least the Bitcoin price, would have been if, Scott Bessent and his team and Congress could have really knock that deficit from 7% of GDP down towards 3%, which was his plan. Right now, it looks like it's going from 7 to 8. And, I like Scott Bessent a lot. I think he's as competent and capable as anybody. We're in a really hard position as a country. And when you have this kind of debt, you're seeing it with long ends of interest, yield curves are selling off everywhere. The dollar's under pressure, and that all is very good for Bitcoin and crypto assets as well.
Wow. So remember, y'all, everything is about the debt, right? We are in so much debt as a country, and they're trying to find solutions to clear this debt. They're trying to find solutions to clear the debt, okay? Could they just turn around and be like, hey, there's no debt? Of course, right? I mean, y'all are the leaders of the world. Y'all can do whatever y'all want, but you got to realize that would start something crazy. That would start war. It wouldn't even make sense, right? There has to be a solution, right? So they can't just wake up one morning. They can, but they're not just going to wake up one morning and say, all right, there's no more debt, right? But they will flip the switch on some of these technologies and allow this liquidity to flow like the waves of an ocean, right? They're going to let it flow. I believe this is what's going to happen, and I believe we are closer. We are really closer, y'all, than what we truly think. Now, Michael Saylor tweeted out yesterday, and I wanted to talk about this. He says, if you're not buying Bitcoin at the all-time high, you're leaving money on the table. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Like that's the question I got from Michael. What the hell is wrong with you? Like you out here telling people who are already suffering to buy something that's already expensive, where there's no wealth to be made anymore. You're telling them to buy it at an all-time high? That is not financial advice, y'all, at all, right? At all. And 24-hour crypto put him in his place. And I'm going to read this. He said, no average person is buying $100,000 Bitcoin, Michael. You're pitching a billionaire's asset to people with less than $5,000 in their savings account. Hold up. The median American can't afford a $500 emergency, yet you're telling them to FOMO into Bitcoin at an all-time high. Buying $10,000 to $40,000 worth of Bitcoin right now will not change their lives. It'll leave them broke, stressed, and praying for a 2X. Bitcoin is now a fully institutionalized playground for corporations, hedge funds, and high net worth whales, not even individuals, not the everyday worker, not the dreamers, not retail. You raise debt to buy more. That's what he did. He raised debt to buy Bitcoin. And can you guys drop the 4-letter word that's going on in his life right now for borrowing debt to purchase Bitcoin at the prices that he did? Because he obviously is not financially astute, Michael Saylor. Okay, please. Okay, so allow for a young 32-year-old male to tell you, okay, a little bit about yourself. See, I believe that he is an absolute prick. And that's the word, that's the best word, that's the best curse word I can use without me embarrassing my mama on today's show, okay, or anybody else that love me entirely, okay? But he is an absolute prick. Y'all should not listen to him at all, right? At all. Because he's going through a lawsuit right now. This man is being sued, right? This man is being sued. That's the 4-letter word I was talking about, sued, S-U-E-D. He's being sued right now. We talked about this in the last episode, and he's going through a class action lawsuit because he's not a good investor. You raise debt to buy more. They'll raise credit card bills trying to chase it. This isn't alpha, it's misdirection. Retail needs to stop romanticizing BTC and start studying the next infrastructure wave. That's where generational wealth is built. Now, I need y'all to realize something. The next infrastructural plays are going to all be released at the same time, and they're going to all go up to the moon at the same time. And they don't care who get rich at the same time, because they're going to get even more wealthier than us. They're going to become trillionaires, some of them quadrillionaires one day, y'all. And I'm okay with my 100 million. You see what I'm saying? I'm cool with my 50 million. I'm okay with them letting me get that. As long as they can have theirs, I'm okay with that. And if you can be okay with that, you're going to be all right in this space. Let's continue to push forward.
First of all, we have significant bipartisan support for this. I think 15 Democrats voted.
Wait. That wasn't what I wanted to play. Sorry, y'all. Let's continue to push forward. So America is on the path for its reset. Okay, America is on the path for its reset. Listen to this video right here.
I think this is the greatest opportunity. These next 3.5 years is the greatest opportunity to reset America, to reset relations around the world, to create prosperity and growth for everyone. And I'm all here for it. I'm super excited about it.
I'm all here for it too. And I need y'all to see something now. This happened in Qatar a couple of days ago. They had the Qatar Economic Forum. Okay, and this economic forum, it's actually, and it was powered by Bloomberg. So y'all know it was huge. Anything going on in Dubai these days, especially powered by Bloomberg, is huge, right? So this was the Qatar, where was it? Qatar Economic Forum. Qatar Economic, got to be able to spell. Okay, here we go. So I want to show you all who was at the Qatar Economic Forum, who was here, right? Obviously, you can see this is actually a Bloomberg event, y'all. This is actually a Bloomberg event, so you know it's going to be major sponsors. So let's look at some of their partners and sponsors. Okay, this is the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay, all these Dubai companies, right? Qatar Museums. All of these right here, right? All of these QNB Group, McKinsey and Company, HSBC, Invest Qatar, Qatar Financial Centre. Okay, what else? These are just huge. Qatar University. They were huge airline sponsors. Qatar Airway. So as you can see, it was all Qatar companies. Okay. Now, if you don't live in Qatar or you don't live in Dubai, then you may not know these names. But I guarantee you, these are some of the biggest names in that world. And they were here speaking live at Qatar about the future. And this guy right here was here and he said America is on the path for its reset. And he said that in Qatar. We all know that America is on its path to the reset. But the biggest question is, how big could this reset really be? Because what you got to realize is alongside of this reset, there is a company known as Swift. And for new people, this will go over your mind, right? But for the old people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for the newer people, I want to tell you what Swift is. Swift is the messaging standard for the way that money moves. So if money were to go from this country, the United States, to Beijing, China, okay, you would have to exchange, you have to do what's called a foreign exchange transaction. And for that foreign exchange transaction to actually happen, right, the countries, these currencies, they have to speak on a language for it to move, right? Well, Swift is the language. Swift moves $30 trillion a year, right? $30 trillion a year in transactions is what Swift moves. And they're about to move all of those assets on chain, meaning on the blockchain. If you don't really, I know that we got a lot of new people that tune in. If you don't know what that is, you want to go and look up these key terms. And if you need help, you can join our Discord group. And we have plenty of free tools that you can leverage and use to help you as a beginner kind of get, sped up and caught up on what we're doing. But with that being said, I got another video for y'all to talk about how this $30 trillion is going to move on chain from Swift.
To start off, I mean, it seems like digital assets are on the rise globally. I mean, how has the market evolved in recent times, and how is the industry's attitude towards digital assets changing?
Yes, I mean, when we think about digital assets, this has been a journey that we've been on for some time, for several years now. And we've seen the emergence of blockchain technology then driving the opportunities to create digital assets through the power of tokens. And obviously that all started with the crypto, with Bitcoin, for example, as the first kind of incarnation of that. But in recent times, we've also seen the emergence of more institutional digital assets and really thinking about the ability to create tokens out of potentially almost anything. That opportunity has then kind of really opened up as people have started to look deeper into this subject and think about, well, can we create token representations of existing securities? And then can we also have the ability to create tokens of things that are not easily tradable today, the so-called tokenization of real-world assets? Personally, I'm not a great fan of that term, but I get the point that there could be a real upside opportunity for making things tradable, which aren't easily tradable today. So as we then zoom forward into where this year in 2025, we've really seen this activity accelerate, and promotion of digital assets as a way forward for the securities market has really come to the fore. We're seeing some quite significant estimates in terms of how much volume will be tokenized. Estimates vary from something like $2 trillion by 2030 all the way up to 9 trillion or even 30 trillion in 10 years. So neither of us on this podcast have a crystal ball to predict the future, but certainly we can say that the prospect is for trillions of dollars to be tokenized. And then the other side of that is that we also start to see real issuances happening. So KfW, for example, has issued now something like 17 billion euros of digital bonds. The EIB recently did its 5th issuance of a digital bond of 100 million euros. So alongside the big predictions, we're also starting to see real issuance happening, and that coming into the institutional space and wholesale space, which is really where SWIFT operates.
So y'all hear what they're talking about, the bonds, right? They want to start off by tokenizing bonds using these stable coins, right? Tokenizing the treasury, right? Because bonds, you got to think about it. Who buys bonds? We don't buy bonds as Americans. When the last time you bought a bond? Okay, just let me know. Who bought a bond last week? All right, anybody in here bought a bond last week? Most people not buying bonds, right? Like that's it's not something that everyday people are buying, right? Who buys bonds? Countries, central banks, regular banks, corporations, whales, rich people. That's who buy bonds, right? We play in the stock, the crypto, the real estate space. Those things will be tokenized secondary. But when we're talking about institutional plays and trillions of dollars flowing in, the trillions are in the bond space already, right? That's why they're going to tokenize that. This is why you need the software. Because if you can't own the bond and you can't own all these bonds, you could own the tokens that are going to, the technologies that are going to fractionalize and to tokenize these bonds. And that's where you build your wealth, because you got to be on the one end of the value. Well, you want to make sure that you're on, at least on this end of that value. So that video was very informative. Now this is, now real quick, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna unshare my screen. And from this moment forward, I'm about to talk about an investment that I've never talked about on this show before. Okay. And we've been moving and shaking in our Discord group the last couple of days. We have a challenge going on right now where most people have a challenge to get to 100,000 of these coins, of these tokens. If you want to get to 100,000 of them, you might want to jump in like right now, you know what I'm saying, somewhere around there. But again, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what we're doing at Coffee and Crypto and Network in our Discord group. I have a little bit of data I want to share with you all about this new project. Like I said, man, it's not often that I get on here and I talk about new projects unless I'm very confident in it. We did a deep dive this past Monday on this particular project that allowed for me to be even more confident in the use cases and the utility that this project is bringing to the world. Everybody should run and go get it, in my opinion. But if you don't, it's all good. You'll just see my ship called Zebek sailing on through. All right, y'all gonna see my Zebek, my yacht, and I'm gonna show y'all why. And don't nobody take this, because I promise you, I'm gonna know you did. Okay, my yacht is gonna be called Yacht Zebek. Okay, and I'm about to show y'all exactly why here right now. So welcome to Coffee and Crypto. We are now 272 episodes in for all the new people that's just now tuning in. Okay, and before we talk about Zebek and the ZBCN token, I want to tell you how we got here as a community and how we decided that this is probably one of the next big ones. And if we can get in under a penny and we can get hundreds of thousands to maybe even 1 million of these coins, which is my personal goal, okay? If we can do that, we will have a Zebek yacht and we will cruise through the Amalfi Coast. And y'all be watching this show as I'm set sail in the Amalfi Coast. With that being said, congratulations to all the future billionaires. It's our time.
Here in Singapore, I believe you get paid once a month. In the United States, you get paid once every 2 weeks. Has everyone thought about why you get paid once a month or once every 2 weeks? It comes down to the friction of payments. And if we can remove the friction of payments, why can't you get paid every day? Or even more crazily, why don't you get paid every hour or every second? You can have a stream of value showing up in your whatever repository of value. Now, why you need to get paid every second, I'm not sure. But I do think there's a lot of dynamics that have been built around getting paid every 2 weeks or getting paid every month. And as we remove the friction of payments and make that dramatically easier, I think you're going to see secondary and tertiary effects that are very difficult to predict, just like we couldn't have predicted Grab 20 years ago.
So I have a question. How many people that work a 9 to 5 right now, y'all get paid every 2 weeks or every month? Somebody let me know. Some of y'all might get paid every week. All right, I don't know. Some of y'all do jobs where you get paid every week, okay? But I'm not talking about them little under the table jobs where you working, you know what I mean? Somebody throwing you a little bread, right? I'm talking about a real career, right? Every 2 weeks, every month, right? Okay, once a month. See, Miss Sharon said once a month. Imagine getting paid every day, every single day. How many people would like to get their money every day? I don't care if it's $50, cuz run me my $50. You know what I mean? I had to pay gas today to get here to my job. Why didn't y'all pay me if I had to pay today? I can't tell the gas station I paid them in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? They want their money today. So why is it a culture in the United States where we don't get paid every 2 weeks? Well, it's because the banks are broke. They ain't got no money to pay you. They got to line up everything. And that's just the culture. Well, here we go. Presenting Zebek Network. Now, before we go and look at Zebek Network, I want y'all to take a look at this right here. Okay? Okay? I want y'all to look at this right here, y'all. Okay? Okay? Just take a look at this real quick, okay? So if y'all know who this is right here, this is the bearable guy, okay? This is bearable guy, okay? 1, 2, 3, something. I can't remember the numbers, but this is the bearable guy. Now, you got to remember that if you're really an XRP Army member and you've been plugged into XRP since like 2018, 2019, like me, you know that XRP operates off of riddles. And they call it the biggest riddle that we're still trying to figure out. Well, here's the latest riddle that was dropped by Bearable Guy, which a lot of people believe that Bearable Guy who owns this Twitter account is Elon Musk. Some people believe it's Elon Musk. Some people believe it's other people, right? So we don't know. The Bearable Guy is just as ominous as your boy Satoshi Nakamoto, right? But the Bearable Guy, he drops all things about XRP, right? And as you can see, there's this ship right here with 3 sail, okay? There's this king that's cruising, okay? There's an iceberg right here. As you can see, the ship is about to hit the iceberg. And remember, y'all, the Federal Reserve was created by what? It was created by the same people that was on the Titanic. How did the Titanic go down? What did the Titanic hit? Okay? The Federal Reserve was created after the Titanic sank, right? The Titanic was a ship. Do y'all know what a Zebek is? Do y'all even know what that is? See, you can't just invest in something and not know what it is. The Zebek is a ship, y'all. Hold on, I got you. And it's not even pronounced Zebek with a Z. It's actually Zebek with an X, right? It's a small 3-masted Mediterranean sailing ship known for its speed and maneuverability. Oh my God. It was originally developed in the Barbary States, Algeria, and primarily used for trading. hold on. So this new, that we're about to go through this whole thing, but this new digital asset is named after one of the most profound ships in the world that was known for its speed, its agility, its versatility, its barbaric courses that it used to take. It used to go from Muslim countries, from South Africa, from North Africa, right, to other Mediterranean, other places. This is what it used to do, right? This is the Xebec ship that we are looking at. Now, I want to go and take you guys and let you take a look at this token for all new investors, because it is not too late for you to get in, because this technology, this token is sitting at 0.002, 0.2 of a penny right now. Okay. And if you look at it, it is making its way back to its all-time high, which was we're not too far away from its all-time high of 0.003248. We are not far away. We are almost there. Once we pass this last all-time high, family, it will open up the floodgates. So you're probably like, well, what is ZBCN? Vincent, why are you sharing this one with us? Right? I was gonna gatekeep this one from my group, but I want everybody to get wealthy. So I want y'all to see what's going on real quick. ZBCN. So remember when Brad Garlinghouse in his last video right here just talked about how you can get paid every day instead of every 2 weeks? Well, ZBCN is the solution for that, right? What they're doing is they are allowing for people to get paid in real time. ZBCN's technology, they have created the real-time payroll system for businesses. And now imagine Google partnering with Xebec Network to pay all of their employees by the second on the same day, as long as they have the ZBCN credit card. See, ZBCN not only is a cryptocurrency, right? But this is a true solution that has real world use cases right now. You can download the Xebec Network app, right? You can sign up for their payroll system as a company. You can pay out your employees via WageLink, which has been around, but now WageLink and Xebec Network are partnered together. You can go and you can issue all of your employees Xebec cards, which are powered by MasterCard officially. So now you have an official MasterCard card with Xebec Network, right? Where you can get different levels of cards. And let's say you're the CEO, and let's say you need to pay $10,000 per day. Well, you can get the Xebec Black Card, which allows you to pay up to $10,000, more than $10,000 every single day. They have a card for everybody, right? Now that y'all understand that and y'all know what a Xebec truly is, right? Well, I want y'all to listen to why Uphold chose to list Xebec Network. Enjoy.
I love it. That's where I'm at home. But for a company like Uphold, we need to ask, what does it do for people? Does it help me save money? Does it help me make money? Does it make me more efficient? And that's the tokens I discussed. So in 2021, I had a meeting with some people from Circle, and they mentioned the ideas of Xebec, and that's via Circle I got to know Sam. And I'm always very intrigued by founders from countries that are not used to all the facilities that we have. Blockchain payments in the West, in the UK, in Europe, it's hard to take off when you have mobile phones and you can just point your phone at something and it's paid. People don't really care. So from the user perspective, what does it do? And at Uphold, everything we do is very carefully crafted from the user's perspective. We don't add features and tokens just because we can or because they are hip and new, but we add them and we choose the direction that the company takes because there is an actual problem that is being solved. That's why we were very early on the stable coins, very early on We never delisted XRP for the simple reason that it was a good technology, whether they had legal issues or not. And and now, after these 10 years of experimentation, we are getting into real problem solving. What is the real use case? And so I spoke to Sam years ago and read about your network, and it is driven by actual use cases. And that's always something. I'm not really interested in whether the price of XYZ goes up by 100x or 200x. That's I'm past that age where you care about money in that way. But I care about exciting use cases. And that's why we listed CEMEX, and that's why the Apple people are talking to you.
Wow. So Uphold is not listing just anything anymore. It has to have real world utility. So I like where Uphold's headed. Now, this was a live on Twitter. I told you all to watch it. I've listened to the whole thing. I told y'all to listen, especially if you are buying these tokens. Why would you not just listen to a 45-minute to an hour conversation on Twitter while you go to bed, while you're in the shower, while you're driving in the car? You would know all of this stuff that I'm going to tell you all today. But for the ones that don't, I didn't want you to get left behind. So I went and I found this on Twitter. And, you know, I would have done it myself. Y'all know I use ChatGPT, but I wanted to, he already did it. So what he did was he used Grok though. And he said, Grok, based on the whole conversation that was had on that call the clip of that call that we watched, you know, he said, what are the key takeaways from today's Uphold and ZBEC spaces? Okay. He says, Ripple times ZBEC talks confirmed. We've been in talks with Ripple about a potential product we're working on together, where we heard Brad Garlinghouse just talk about how, you know, that was a solution that needs to be handled. Okay, cool. People getting paid every day, every second, every minute, however often, right? ZBEC equals what XRP could have been. That's what Grok said. So ZBEC is the evolution XRP would have taken without legal baggage. Wow. So XRP was going to take over the world, y'all, if the SEC did not step in, basically. Okay. Uphold validates ZBCN utility. We only list tokens that solve real world problem. ZBEC does. Payroll market equals $10 trillion plus. If y'all were on our Sip and Learn on Monday, y'all would be up. So y'all would be up crazy right now on the ZBCN investment. Y'all, like it's went up like 40% since Monday, since we've spoke about this thing, right? And now we talked about this, we looked this up on ChatGPT. We asked, how large was the payroll market in the United States? It says adoption growing fast in education, healthcare, LATAM, real transactions via PayBridge plus ZBEC card. Okay, that market equals $10 trillion plus. Regulation storm coming is in June. ZBEC's compliance first model may thrive while others may fall. Okay, they're positioning for something really big at ZBEC Network. I want y'all to hear it out. I got another video for you. Well, I got another video, 2 more videos, I think. But I do want to go over this real quick so y'all can know how wealthy you're about to get. I need y'all to really see this, okay? Because see, when you can see the money, you can get it, okay? So I need y'all to see the money. If you went and bought 500,000 ZBCN tokens right now, okay, it would cost you around $1,200. Now, it's not y'all business as to how many ZBCN tokens I have, okay? But I got quite a few, okay? It's not your business to know. If you're in my Discord group, you know exactly how many I have, okay? But it's not the world's business to know, okay? But just know, if you went and got 500,000, your bag will be worth $1,200 right now, all right? And I'm looking at my portfolio, and it's not a lie, all right? It's not a lie. Okay, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at my portfolio, and these numbers are not off. So let's talk about it real quick. If you held 500,000 ZBEC network tokens today, it would be $1,235. But when this thing goes up to 1 penny, that will be worth $5,000. That's a $3,715 profit based off of the price at this roughly around this very moment. Okay. Now, once it goes to 2 cents, you'll make another 5,000. So now that means for every time it moves a penny, you make $5,000. If you got 500,000 coins, every time it hits a dime, you make $50,000. I don't think y'all understand where I'm coming from. I don't think y'all really understand. I don't think y'all really understand what's going on right now, y'all. Let's go back over this real quick. Let's talk about this. All right, let's lower the number. No. Let's raise the number. Let's say you had 1 million coins today. That costs you about $2,500. Okay, 1 million coins. Now if we put 1 million coins here, when you get to a penny, you make 10 grand. That means every penny it moves, you make $10,000. That means every 10 cent it moves, you make how much? You make 100 grand. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let those numbers marinate on your spirit like neck bone juice, and we're gonna get through these last 2 videos. Because listen, during this same Twitter call that they had, okay, with Uphold, the Uphold head of research made a bold claim. He said ZBEC is like XRP without the lawsuit. Listen up.
Weight utility and long-term relevance when you're listing tokens early, but what is it about ZBEC specifically that really stood out to you guys?
I do believe in a multi-chain future. I have had endless conversations with people like Vitalik about the vision of one blockchain for everything, right? Ethereum as the world computer and all this stuff. I don't think that adds any utility, because what we need ultimately is resilience. We need to get rid of the hackers, of the crimes, and for that we need diversification. And we need resilience. We need networks that do not depend on the whims of one person, one company. The single point of weakness, the single point of attack, that is at the core of what we do with decentralized networks, right? So why did I look for ZBEC? It's actually, I'm brutally honest. When I first looked at it in detail, I thought, okay, there's another a bunch of people who want to do another payment network. And I absolutely abhor Solana for various reasons. But I'm not afraid to set myself challenges, and I always try to explore the next thing. So a deeper look into ZBEC showed me that it's sort of a development that XRP would have taken if they wouldn't have been lamed, paralyzed by the legal issues that they had for such a long time. And I have to be honest that XRP hasn't really developed that much over time because of the legal problems. It will now, because there's developer activity coming back to XRP. But I welcome any network. I think there's room for hundreds of payment networks. It seemed to me that payroll needs a special marketing push, because payroll is something that affects millions, billions of people.
Come on.
It is what we use for payroll is a corporate decision that every company is affected. And if you can gain inroads and get people excited about using a blockchain-based payroll system that has no baggage, right? XRP has a lot of baggage. Bitcoin has a lot of baggage. And I've always thought that something with a clear vision, right? I like projects with a clear vision you can outline in one sentence. We have this elevator test. There are 6 floors from the ground to the Uphold office in New York, and that's exactly the time you have to sell me your product. And that would fit in, right? Doing payrolls and facilitating payments in a way that we haven't before is probably, it's an interesting use case. And that's why I kept following Civic.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all how serious I am about Zebit. I just went and bought another 67,000 coins. All right. I swapped out. It was a project that I called in my Discord group that actually was doing pretty good. But I ain't lying. I'm in a consolidation era of my life. I don't need to own every crypto. I understand they're all going to go up this bull run, right? I know that. We know that. We've been around here before. But I'm going to tell you something. It's important to be diversified, but to be deep in your diversifications. See, I just increased my holdings again, another 67,000 ZBEC networks. And I'm not gonna say where that puts me at, but we getting there, okay? We getting there. So every single day, we are locked in on this technology. And I wanna play, I believe this is, we got 2 more videos, but I got one to let that sink in for y'all. Look, if you got to go, you got to go. It's 11 o'clock. If you got to go, you got to go. But if you can stick around for another 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, stick around. It'll be worth it.
About ZBCN as like the next XRP and stuff like that. What does that kind of comparison mean to you before we then get into kind of like, adoption of ZBEC and that utility that Doc Martin here was just talking about?
Well, I mean, we've been hearing it more and more recently. I'd say at Zebek, we have a ton of respect for Ripple and XRP and what they've built. I mean, in fact, we've been in talks with them now for the past couple of weeks about a potential product that we're working on together. So I'm not going to get into too much detail there, but we're definitely on their radar. And I'd say it's definitely a company that Zebek respects a lot. Now, the similarities between Zebek and XRP really come down to the markets that they're serving, right? Ripple, you can give a lot of the success to the size of the problem that they're trying to solve. So if they're tackling global remittance, alone that market is shy of $800 billion in US terms. Now, when you look at payroll, which is the problem that Zebek is trying to solve, the payroll market in the US alone in volume is north of 10 trillion. So both massive, massive markets, which is why I believe that Ripple has been able to get to the size it has. And Zebek, I believe, is on a similar trajectory.
All right. So last video I got before we get up out of here, y'all, is this one. And if you've been buying your ZBEC on Uphold, which I've told y'all, told you, dog. I told you, man. I told you Uphold is the truth. But listen to what they just said, because there's a ZBCN airdrop that's on the way for users in June.
The coming week. So number one is, I'm not going to get too much detail here, but there will be a ZBCN airdrop to certain Uphold users. Look out for an announcement from Uphold on their Twitter and on email the next couple of weeks, but that is going to be planned for sometime in June. So that's super exciting. That's going to get our token into the hands of many great investors and great buyers. Second, the coming week. So
all right. So like I said, y'all, that's pretty much it for today's show. Like, that's it. Like, I gave you all the play. I gave you all the money. If there's anybody that has anything, feel free. Y'all already know how we do. Raise them hands up. Zatrick, I see you, brother. Really excited. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and end, because I am at y'all already know I'm at my uncle's studio. As always, y'all, we got a meeting here. We do have a meeting. So I'm going to allow for Zatrick to come up. We got time for one question.
Hello. Guys, listen. This is why it's important to get into the Discord, okay? You guys are just now finding out about ZBAC. Yo, this coin right here, y'all don't understand. I'm up 100% today. Like, I woke up this morning, I was up 100%. Guys, you're doing yourself a disservice by not being in the Discord, because I bought $20 worth a day and they only gave me 10,000. I'm used to spending like $7, $10 to get 10,000. Like, it feels weird to me buying it at this price right now. But it's still under a penny, so it's really no loss. But Yeah, this man VO it's like lighting in a bottle, y'all. He just keeps sparking it up. Like y'all better stop playing. Use the 7 free days if he's still doing it. Take full advantage of this before it's too late. But yeah, man, appreciate it, bro.
Hey, you are very welcome. I want to say thank you all so much. I do have to go ahead and end now because we do have a meeting here at our studio. But thank you all so very much. For my Discord people, look, if you're not in the Discord group, you should be in there. And if you're in the Discord group, y'all just take a look over here. This is for this right here for motivation. You know what I mean? I just want to motivate my young ones real quick. All right, y'all go take a look at this real quick. To all the people that's building their ZBCN network, man. Listen, I'm gonna show y'all what focus in your portfolio, rediversification of your portfolio, allocation of your portfolio can do for you. I've really not spent much money. I've reallocated positions in my portfolio that I felt like didn't make sense, that did make sense. This is how we got here. I want to say congratulations to each and every single person, and we are on our way to billions. I will see y'all soon, and y'all have an amazing rest of your weekend and Memorial Day weekend. Y'all be safe. I will have some Memorial Day sales popping up. So if you're interested in our boot camp coming up, 6-week boot camp, there will be a huge Memorial Day sale going on for that.